Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel and my own goddamn Spotify. Type me in on Spotify. Like and share. Follow on Spotify. Do your thing. Let people know I'm out there. I was thinking, guys, the small package always gets a bad reaction, whether it be wrestling fans or women. Women react to a small package the same way wrestling fans react to a small package. You're like, yeah, you might have gotten me, but it was only for 3 seconds. Doesn't really count, even though you're celebrating like you just got a W. If we do it again, you wouldn't be able to handle me. You know, that's like kind of what wrestlers who get small packaged and women who get a small package all say. But with that said, I was kind of incorrect last week with some of my fantasy booking. I thought that Rhea Ripley was a no-brainer. She was going to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, but she ended up she ends up on Raw that she calls out Charlotte. That's going to be good, like we said last week. You know, they have history, WrestleMania 35, big WrestleMania match for Rhea in the history of her career, but it was in front of no one. So this one's going to be kind of cool. This one's in front of everybody. WrestleMania 39, 4 years later, let's run it back. Elimination Chamber, I thought it was going to be a Bloodline Chamber, but I guess I wasn't thinking about how Jay can't get into Canada, and I was also not realizing that it was for the U.S. title. I think that's cool. It's just as fresh as a Bloodline Chamber. And some guys who weren't in the Rumble, are getting a big showcase here in the Chamber. That's kind of cool. Someone who wasn't in the Rumble is Jay White. He reportedly signed with the WWE or is going to sign with the WWE. Has a little bit of dates left in New Japan. I think that's great. I think that's good for both parties. He's kind of done all that he could do in New Japan, and the audience never really took to him like they would take to a Kenny Omega years before. I don't think they even took to him like they took to like Finn or AJ. Like they liked him, they cheered for him, kind of. There were some Switchblade fans when they would show the audience, but it never really looked like it stuck. And AEW is too full, so where was he going to go from there? I guess it was WWE. Speaking of WWE, Vengeance Day in WWE NXT, Wes Lee versus Dijak, and Wes Lee might have stolen this whole damn show. It was great. Chase U going off in Charlotte. You gotta love the hometown boy getting some hometown love from Charlotte, or home state love, I should say. Braun Strowman standing tall in the main event. It should have get off the pot time with him. I thought Grayson Waller was a shoo-in for this title. But when are they going to call him up to the main roster? Carmelo Hayes comes out after he gets the victory. Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker. That should be a good match. Going over on SmackDown, Roman with Heyman. Sammy attacks Reigns from behind. Roman gets the upper hand, gets a chair. Sammy spears him, gets the chair. Roman rolls out the ring, and that's when Solo and Jimmy show up, attack Sammy from behind. This is still good. This is still the best story in pro wrestling today. It's great. Moving over to Raw, Edge and Beth versus Rhea and Finn at Elimination Chamber. That's going to be a good match. I like Edge and Beth at the Rumble last year. They have good matches together. And Rhea Ripley and Beth, that's going to be kind of cool to see. Bobby versus Brock at the Chamber. I thought this was going to Mania. It still might. Should be a good match of the Chamber as well. Boogs is still the man, flexing on everybody. Becky and Bayley, a match too big for Raw 30. Ends with Io, showing up. Dakota Kai showing up. Lita comes out to even the odds. I definitely think this is what was supposed to happen at Raw 30, but, time restraints and all of that. But I think it was better to happen on a show without so many legends. So Lita stands out, so that means that this whole match stands out a little more. Cody and Heyman, Dusty and ECW. That was kind of a cool thing to bring up, how Heyman kind of saved his family a bit, paid him well. Cody, the quote, Cody is Dusty's favorite son. But Roman is the son he wished he had boom. Oh, man. You had to make it personal. I was listening to Busted Open, and they were talking about, like, how are they going to make Cody talk about his dad? How are they going to bring that into Mania? And they were saying that Monday morning. I guess they should have waited till Monday night, and they would have realized exactly how ridiculous those statements were, because they did it within a few hours. Kota Ibushi coming to the collective. Changing the subject here, guys, I should say. Someone who's not going to be at Mania, but going to be at Mania weekend, Kota Ibushi, coming to the collective. GCW's wrestling festival that takes place at WrestleMania week. After his WrestleMania weekend matches, he is going to be opening a school in Japan. He plans to be based in Japan, and we know he's never going back to New Japan after he made some comments regarding some of these people's extramarital affairs in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So after they put the belt on him, after they did a lot with him, he got injured and wanted to be gone and got pissed and called them all out, or maybe made lies, who knows. But all I know is I'm watching New Japan. All I know is that New Beginnings from February 4th, Okan took on Asher Louibe. I know I'm butchering that name. Young lion, tall dude from New Zealand dojo, takes on Okan and takes it to Okan, but Okan does end up tapping his ass out like a punk ass bitch. Ren Narita teaming with Suzuki, Desperado, and Richi's Uive, another young lion, versus House of Torture. Suzuki is trying to get Ren Narita to join the team. More on that when we discuss the next show. But Ren taps out Dick Togo like a punk-ass bitch. TMDK versus members of Chaos. Young Lion in this match. Yoka Nakashima on Chaos' side. And Fujita fighting for TMDK, who joined TMDK at New Year's Dash. He taps out Yoda like a punk-ass bitch. Taguchi, Yano, Yo, and Okada versus Sanada, Bushi, Shingo, and Hiromu. Star-studded 8-man tag here. Okada gets the victory. Yo and Hiromu brawl after the match because they are in the main event the next night. Just 4 guys versus TJP and Francesca. Yui get the victory. Just 4 guys is a weak-ass faction. The name was kind of like supposed to be ironic, but it's just true. It just holds up to be true, so it's not ironic. It's just kind of just describing this fucking faction. Just 4 guys. I don't like it. Kill it. End it. House of Torture is no longer the worst gimmick or faction in New Japan because of these guys. Just 4 guys. Come on. Something that isn't weak has been Will Ospreay's 2023. Will Ospreay versus Tai Chi in the co-main event. Ospreay in control in the early going. Tai Chi dodges a lariat and then hits one of his own. Rips off his pants. Vintage Tai Chi. Both men down at the 10-minute mark. Then they stand up, voluntarily delivering kicks to each other's skull because Tai Chi likes Kawada. Power slap. Eat your heart out here. These kicks were insane. Tai Chi drops Ospreay, counters with a hidden blade. 1-2. Ospreay kicks out. Os cutter. 1-2. No. Tai Chi counters with an Os cutter. Hits a triple crown bomb. 1-2. Ospreay kicks out again. Side suplex. 1-2. Ospreay won't quit, but he's down. Tai Chi dodges an Os cutter again. Doesn't dodge the hidden blade. Counters the Storm Zero. Tai Chi hulks up. Hidden blade. 1-2. No. Ospreay throws an elbow. Tai Chi throws a haymaker. Ospreay answers and drops Tai Chi. Hidden blade. Stormbreaker. 1-2-3. Will Ospreay and Tai Chi steal the fucking show with that one. Moving on to the main event, though. I feel like the crowd was a little worn out. They can cheer again. I feel like they weren't cheering here because they were worn out from the last match. And, the pretty stacked show from before. Naito versus Shota Umino. Shota holding his own in this early going here. Naito starts controlling the pace. Shota fires back with a senton to the floor. Shota controlling the pace. 15-minute mark. Esperanza. Naito keeps the pace kind of slow here. I think maybe the crowd was kind of, the main event, slow pace. They're kind of sitting on their hands here, not really cheering. Shota fires back at the 25-minute mark. Destino countered into a reverse, into a bit of a like, Destino was countered. Let's start there. Into, like, it was like a package pile driver, but it was not. It was like a tombstone package pile driver in a bit of an odd way. Like it wasn't a tombstone package pile driver. It was a package pile driver, but the guy's belly was facing out. I don't know. It was crazy. You got to see it. Shota Umino innovating some fucking moves here. Naito kicks out. Flipping neck breaker. 1, 2, no. Valencia from Naito. Snuck back in control here. Shota countered the Destino into a DDT. Death Rider 1-2. Naito kicks out. Destino 1-2. Shota kicks out. Crowd wakes up a bit here. Destino 1-2-3. Naito gets the victory. Shingo comes in the ring and poses with Naito. Naito, of course, wrestling the Great Muta later this month. Stoked about that match, February 21st. United Empire looking strong here in the early going of the next show, the show that happened on February 5th. 8-man tag against just 4 guys. Once again, weak-ass faction. Desperado, Suzuki, Ren Narita stand tall again for a second night in a row against House of Torture. And then Suzuki challenges House of Torture for the 6-man titles that House of Torture didn't even bring with them. And that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm looking at you, Dalton Castle. You fucking don't bring your 6-man titles with you at Dynamite. Come on. That's why I like Brian Cage. It's one of the many reasons I like Brian Cage. Is because when he wrestles on AEW, even though it's an ROH title and it's just a 6-man title, he brings it with him. Gato, LP, Switchblade versus Tamatanga, Hikuleo, and Jado. Switchblade versus Hikuleo. Loser leaves Japan coming up, of course. We kind of already know the ending of that match. Switchblade gonna lose. Gonna put the big man over. Why not? LP attacks Tamatanga after the match. It looks like they're going that direction too. I think that's going to be a great match. LP and Tamatanga. Big 8-man tag. Taguchi, Shota, Umino, Yano, and Okada versus Bushi, Sanada, Shingo, and Naito. Chaos stand tall. Muta and Naito, February 21st, man. Big card. You also have Okada versus Kitamiya on that show as well. Champion versus champion. So that card is already fucking stacked. I'm pretty excited about that one. And then moving on in this card, Goda and Yoshihashi versus TMDK. The first real big match from these Aussies. Olivia Newton bomb, sick double team move. This move might beat the Gin and Juice, which is my personal favorite double team move in all of wrestling. Elevated GTR from the champs. Lights out. 1, 2, 3. Champs retain. Ishii versus Zack Sabre Jr. Great match. TV title match. 15 minutes on the clock in every TV title match. Strike battle starts things off. Turns into some PKs being delivered from Ishii. Both men down. Ishii bleeding from the mouth. Powerbomb. 1, 2, no. Zack turns the pin into an armbar. Ishii gets to the ropes. Ishii hits a code red at one point. Lariat from Ishii. 3 minutes remain. 1, 2. Zack kicks out. Pin attempt after pin attempt. Under 2 minutes to go. Dragon suplex. 1, 2. Ishii kicks out. PK. Enziguri from Ishii. Less than a minute to go. Less than 30 seconds to go. Zack driver. 1, 2, 3. Zack retains. Great match. Great match. Yo versus Hiromu. Main eventing this match. Yo with his Darby Allin tights on. It's cool to see how chill Hiromu is, generally speaking, and it's cool to see how chill he is in these main event matches. He's had a few in a row, not in a row now, but he's had a few now over the years, and he fits him. We got a star in our hands here. Cat's out of the bag, of course. Hiromu Takahashi is a star, and you can see it on the big stage in the main event. Crazy wild drop kicks from Yo. Smooth moonsault from Yo. Missile drop kick again. 1, 2. Hiromu kicks out. Power bomb. Blue Thunder bomb. Both men down. Yo starts attacking his leg, going after the leg of Hiromu, throwing him up at one point, and Hiromu landing on his knees. Hiromu pin after pin. Yo won't quit. Super kick. 1, 2. No. Time bomb. 1, 2. No. Super kick from Hiromu to Hiromu. Super kick to Yo. Time bomb. 1, 2, 3. Hiromu Takahashi retains the tag titles. Or not the tag titles, what I'm saying, the junior title. Really cool to see Hiromu get that main event spot. And it's really cool to see like New Japan kind of changing things up again. Of course, I'm shitting on just 4 guys. But I mean, Team DK is cool. Suzuki and Ren Narita is cool. Hiromu in the main event scene is cool. I mean, I like the stuff they're doing with Okada and Noah. Okada and Kitamiya is really cool. Like, they're doing a lot of cool stuff in New Japan now. And this is going into Battle in the Valley with Sasha Banks and everything like that. So I feel like with AEW kind of stalling and WWE kind of, you know, always going to be WWE being that constant that they are, I feel like the promotion to watch, in my opinion, is New Japan in 2023. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to watch any other promotion. Of course, I'm going to be watching AEW. I'm going to give you my thoughts right now about Dynamite. So Ray and Tony Storm attack Britt Baker. You know, the battle of the hotties. I don't know. They just got the really 4 really attractive women making them fight. It's cool. It's a no-brainer. They should have done this from the early going. Jungle Boy promo. Still not a good talker, but he gets the Gen Z ladies to love him. And that's why he's on the TV. I mean, who's kidding who here, guys? I mean, younger, you know, we got to get younger as a wrestling fan base, and we got to get younger ladies involved as a wrestling fan base. And Jungle Boy does that. Jericho Appreciation Society, Garcia and Guevara seem to be getting along a little better. I can see them being a tag team in the future. And they challenge Ricky Starks. They're going to give Ricky Starks the business here. They got to beat Cool Hand, Angelo Parker, Daddy Magic, Guevara, Garcia, all the way to get to Jericho. You know, where did I see this before, kind of a thing. I mean, it's kind of what MJF is doing with Danielson right now, and it's kind of what MJF did with Jericho when they wrestled each other. So, you know, not original, but it's still going to lead to good matches, which is kind of AEW's strong suit. The Elite versus the Form basketball little scene here. Isaiah Cassidy creeped Omega out, creeped me out, and I think creeped everyone else out as well. Rouge gets paid by MJF to go after Danielson. Ruby checks on Britt Baker and ends up regretting it here a little bit. Britt seeming to be kind of a bitch to her, to be honest. Rampage. Starks is ready to take down the JAS. This is, you know, just like I said, similar to all the other shit that I've seen. House of Black video package bragging that they completely fucked up a friendship for no reason between Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. I mean, no titles were on the line. This is just, they were just being culty assholes here, just ruining friends for no reason. It was kind of you know, made them. I thought they were cool until this happened, man. They're just a bunch of dicks. Written and directed by like M. Night Shyamalan video package kind of thing here. But let's rank AEW from worst to first this week. I'm kind of all over the place. My mind's all over the place this week. I don't even know if this is a good show. If this is a good show, let me know in the comments below. If it's a bad show, let me know in the comments below. Because if you made it this far, I mean, it can't be too bad, I guess. But all 10 matches are going to be ranked. Number 10, the Acclaim versus the Outrunners. The Outrunners are great. I would sign these guys if I were Tony. They seem, you know, they have a little Daddy Magic energy, a little Gun Club vibe. They're hilarious. But the Acclaim hit the Scissor Me Timbers, make short work of them. The Gun Club come out. Billy challenges the Gun Club for the Acclaimed. This is kind of like rehashing some shit. I don't like it too much, man. I feel like the Guns are definitely on the rise, but they're not risen to the point where I think they can be vital threats to the Acclaimed at this point because they've had such a strong tag title run. And it's a rehash of something we already saw like late last year. Number 9, Storm and Saraya versus the Renegade Twins. The Renegade Twins keep getting a lot of work in AEW. They're even popping up on NWA. Let's see what happens with these ladies. Club and blows from the UK Baddies. 1-2 Renegades Twins kick out, but they eventually get the pin. UK Baddies get the victory. Storm and Saraya, they can be on my TV anytime. Put them on there 3 times a week on AEW. Why not? Number 8, Swerve and Pillman. Swerve going after the leg. The affiliates get involved. Big foot stomp, 1, 2, 3. The affiliates jump Pillman after the match. Dustin makes the save here. I like this feud here, Swerve and Dustin here. Two guys that wrestle real safe, but wrestle real good. So I'm gonna like this match probably. Also you got the veteran here helping out these young affiliates get over. Number 7, Jade versus Red Velvet. Velvet attacking before the bell. This is something that happens a lot in AEW. The underdog will attack before the bell in kind of like a take no shit babyface spot, not in the like heel asshole spot, which is pretty interesting. Every other promotion seems to be like a little bit of the reverse. This may have been Velvet's best match ever. That's not saying very much, but it might have been. Hogan runs down and attacks Layla. Jaded, 1, 2, 3. What's going to happen here with the TBS champion? We don't know. But we do know that number 6 is Rush versus Daniels. Christopher Daniels looking crazy as hell here with this red eye that he still has after that injury. Preston Vance gets involved. Roosh chokes Chris with the cord. Vintage Roosh here. Best moonsault ever. Knees up. And that's what gets Roosh the victory. 1, 2, 3. Number 5 out of 10. Brian Cage versus Takeshita. Both these guys are on a roll right now. Huge Blue Thunder Bomb from Takeshita. Takeshita is really good. I don't care how his chops look. I know a bunch of old guys, Ric Flair, Don Callis, got in some argument over Takeshita's chops on Twitter, but he doesn't need a chop. He can do everything else well, and he's big, tall, seems to have a lot going for him. He doesn't need chops. Cage kicks out. Discus Lariat. 1, 2. Takeshita kicks out. Takeshita wins with an awesome spot fest thing that happened. 1, 2, 3. Takeshita stronger than Cage and Dynamite last week. Number 4, the Elite versus the Firm. Hardy, Cassidy, and Ethan. Hardy and Omega going at it. This was kind of cool to see. Hardy gets tagged out, still goes up to the top anyways, and Page attacks Kenny from behind off the apron. Always unique spots from Page here while people are standing around to otherwise get dived on. I think this means that Ethan Page has heard the criticism of AEW and is doing things to kind of change it up, and I enjoy that. Take the criticism in with the compliments and make both work for you. Triple V Trigger, 1, 2, 3. The Elite win. Number 3 out of 10. Danielson versus Thatcher. What a fucking little treat this match was. Timothy Thatcher from Noah. They made sure to say that, not from NXT for years, but Noah. We swear it's Noah. Uppercut City from Thatcher. Danielson going after the leg. Thatcher goes after the arm. Danielson lands kicks. Ref down. MJF comes out. Takeshita cuts him off. Psycho knee, 1, 2, 3. MJF out there. Takeshita versus MJF brawling to the back. Great match here. Spillover afterwards with this nice little brawl. That was great. Number 2, though, Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe. Two guys that when they come out, you never know what's going to happen. Crazy shit always goes down, so you got to love this feud. Darby comes out with a tack spiked hoodie. Joe says, fuck this, takes it right off. I don't blame him. They brawl in the crowd. Back in the ring, Darby has a hard time putting this hoodie on that Joe just kind of like takes off of him. Of course, because all like the tacks and everything. I mean, I've never had to put on a hoodie that had a bunch of spiked tacks or whatever, but it seemed hard. Darby had a hard time. I've never seen him have a hard time putting on anything else before, but he still hits the coffin drop. 1, 2, Joe kicks out. Darby cuts the ring in half, or literally, like not like a tag team thing, but like starts chopping at the ring, pulling the foam padding off and the apron off, exposing the wood. Muscle buster off the top. Darby ends up regretting the decision to just rip off the ring. Amazing match. 1, 2, 3. Joe gets his title back. But number 1 this week in AEW television, Mox versus Hangman Page. Mox comes out with Yuta and his dad randomly enough. That was crazy to see his dad. New tights on Mox too. 2023, new year, new Mox, it looks like. Dayton said that this match was awesome, and it was awesome. They were not lying. Mox trying to wear down Adam Page. Hangman getting to the ropes. Moonsault from Hangman to Mox. Mox dodges. Hangman lands on his feet. Pop-up powerbomb through a table. Lariat, Deadeye, 1, 2, no. Lariat from Mox. Small package driver from Hangman. Buckshot countered into a paradigm shift. That was countered into a tombstone. Buckshot, 1, 2, no. Moxley chance. Moxley with a roll-up victory. 1, 2, 3. Cesaro and Yuta come out to make sure everything is cool and make sure they don't just start attacking each other like they usually do. Man, I'm reading this match and getting hyped up. I love New Japan. I love WWE. I love AEW. This is a great time to be a wrestling fan. Hopefully I can get more of these podcasts out to you guys. The few, the proud, the people that listen to this fucking podcast. I really do mean it, man. Share with everybody. If you honestly enjoy it, just share it with somebody. Like, let a wrestling fan know, maybe in your office or in your work environment, or maybe a guy in high school that maybe talks about wrestling that you're not too close with. But let them know I do this podcast, man. I love doing it for you guys. And let other people know that I do it. As always, fly high. I'm out.